It's currently 10:37 a.m. When I record this. I've been awake for a little over 36 hours. I was gonna sleep, and then I saw it. So, I've got to muster whatever little strength I've got left to make this video, but, since I don't believe in caffeine and hate coffee, and, since we're going to be speaking about Russians today, let's get into the spirit, nothing like an 11 a.m. cup of vodka to keep me up and get me through this sermon, so, fuck it, bro, bottoms up. Oh yeah! Okay! We're awake! Okay, here we go! Woo! Folks, something disturbing may have just happened. The Cryo-Archon, her name may have just been revealed by Columbina's drip marketing. Now, before I share it with you all, some of you might be confused as to why this is disturbing, and make no mistake about it, this reveal, if it is the Cryo-Archon, should frighten you. Think about the way we as people have always dealt with the things that frighten us. We drag them out the dark, slap a name on them, and suddenly we feel like we've got a little control. We meet a beast in the forest and call it Gorgon. We see a shape in the waves and call it Leviathan. We hear claws in the forest and call it Wendigo. When we meet terror, we label it, because naming something makes it just a tiny bit smaller than it used to be. But every time we've named a monster, the name came after the fear. And that's the problem we have today. Because if what I'm about to read to you is the Cryo-Archon's name, if that vile assortment of sounds has clawed its way into our language, that means she's no longer some distant legend. She's no longer the faraway Archon in some distant land. She's no longer the most evil entity on Teyvat. She's no longer the faraway bitch. It means she's real. And it means she's close. And worst of all, it means she's become the kind of thing that needs a name. No one names a storm until after it's strong enough to tear down roofs. No one speaks a monster's name until it's already at your door. So if her name is now known, that tells us exactly what she's become. She is the greatest evil Teyvat has ever known. But hear me, my people. Hear the roar in the heavens. Our God, the unyielding flame, stirs in his throne of storm and fire. His gaze is a hammer, his breath a wildfire, sweeping the mountains. He watches the shadow creep. He counts the seconds until the audacity of this monster dares to claim the light. And when that moment comes, when her arrogance thinks itself untouchable, he will strike. The skies will shatter. The mountains will quake. Rivers will boil. Every stone, every leaf, every heartbeat will tremble under the weight of his wrath. Not mercy, not hesitation, just judgment, absolution, unstoppable. And in that blaze, in that reckoning, we will all know the truth, the name, the monster, the false god, the one who will awaken, the primordial one, the progenitor god,
hailing from the blackness between the stars, whose cosmic sword will shred worlds and burn heavens to ash!
Is Anastasia Fedora Snezhnaya. For those confused where this name is coming from, allow me to elucidate. I think I briefly mentioned it. Actually, I don't think I briefly mentioned it. Columbina's drip marketing, quote, winter nights no mercy. She left her curtained nest in frost and snow. No one is obliged to restore that which she has lost. Anastasia Fedora Snezhnaya. I mean, aside from, you know, the name of the nation being her last name, here are some fun Russian facts. Anastasia shares the same patronymic name as Alexandra Fedora, who was the last tsarista of Russia, and her daughter's name was Anastasia, or in English, Anastasia. This is a really old-ass sounding name, by the way. You know, it's odd. I knew an Anastasia in high school. She was Russian, you know, good kid. Always looked really angry though. You know, just had a resting angry face. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, with a name like Anastasia, I just think they're genetically predisposed to be like really angry people. She wasn't an angry person, but you know, just resting bitch face. You know, good kid though, good kid. So you know, anytime I hear that name, just ugh. You know, if this is the Cryo-Archon, she sounds miserable already. Granted, that's, again, if this is the Cryo-Archon, there's no real confirmation, you know, but, you know, some odd things, aside from, you know, again, the name of the nation, seemingly being her surname. She's giving a quote about Columbina, which speaks of snow, and, obviously, Cryo-Archon, cryo, snow. Snow is just water frozen. You know, she says Columbina's living in a nest, but also seemingly knows of the fact that Columbina's a moon goddess who's lost a lot, given the quote speaks of Columbina's lost goods, I guess we'll call it. You know, not a lot of females in Snezhnaya who I'd imagine have this level of knowledge regarding Columbina. Now, what's most hilarious about this quote is the fact that whoever this is, you know, Cryo-Archon or otherwise, is writing off Columbina entirely, stating, no one is obliged to return to her what was lost. Quite the leader you are, bitch! You know, she really doesn't value the possessions of her subordinates. I'd certainly expect more from my leader. That's I mean, I hope so. For that reason, I hope it's the Cryo-Archon, because it furthers my case that she's a bad person. She's going to be a nefarious individual. Now, with that said, there is one point worth considering that, in my opinion, detracts from this Anastasia feller being the Cryo-Archon, and it's actually her patronymic name. For those unaware of what that is, a patronymic name is just a name derived from a person's father or paternal ancestor. And the way it works in Russian, you know, the last couple of letters, so in this case, Avna, they mean daughter of. So this Anastasia feller, good sounding guy, is the daughter of someone named Fyodor. This is odd because Archons don't really have parents now, do they? I guess it's not impossible. You know, Mawika, the god of fire, had parents, but she was a human. You know, what are the odds we get another human Archon? 0, actually. I'm pretty sure I remember them stating Notlan was unique in how they only have short-lived Archons. So, you know, what's going on here? I guess this doesn't necessarily mean the Cryo-Archon's a god, but they are a member of some long-lived species. Probably God. You know, could this Anastasia feller be some kind of noble or something? Kind of like, what's her name? She was the white bitch. She was white hair. She was in the land of Japan. Oh boy. Oh god. She was the one who she went into the river with no shoes. Oh boy. Oh god. You guys know who I'm talking about. Kamisato Arts. Sometsu! What the fuck was her name? You know who I'm talking. I'm sure I'll figure it out when I'm editing the video. Where was I? She could hold some sort of position like that. But you know that this Anastasia feller not being the Cryo-Archon would make my speech earlier irrelevant, and I don't like that, so I don't like this theory. What's interesting about the name Fyodor, however, is its translation is God's gift.